Welcome to Sportsball, everyone. Welcome, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Doing good?
Doing well.
Doing good?
Doing very well.
Doing
Certainly
good?
have been watching a video of seals having sex with penguins.
We were watching that just before this happened.
A little pre-show entertainment.
Yeah, we like to keep up with, what's going on planet Earth, and that's what's going on planet Earth.
That's what's hot right now.
I'm your host, Tyler Coe, joined by...
I'm Jack Pattillo.
And...
Joel Heyman.
Also with...
Boys on the side. Yo.
They don't have names.
That's his name. Is Boys on the Side and Yo. That's their names.
All right, welcome into the show. Welcome to Sportsball. If this is your first time, it's going to be your last time. We are going to have our season finale today.
Yay!
For season 1 of Sportsball.
Twitter.
So fucking excited about that. You can tell that these two guys are so happy about that.
Yay!
So yeah, this is going to be the end of season 1 for Sportsball.
All right.
Today. So this is going to be kind of our last show. So we'll talk about that in detail near the end of the show, what that means, what's going to happen with the show going forward. So if you want to send us a call, send us a text, you know the number. It's going to show up right now here in 2 seconds. Boop. There we go. Also, hashtag Sportsball. It could be your last opportunity to talk to us. I know. Like I said, we're going to talk about that at the end of the show. So you got to stick through.
We're going to meet some seals.
I know that I know that Sportsball is on right now because I'm getting a bunch of angry tweets about bad sports predictions.
Already?
Which would be us,
right.
yes. Which
Nice.
is awesome. So, yeah, this is going to be the end of the line for the show, which it's been a lot of fun season 1. We talked about
Absolutely.
a long array of things, like vast array, like tons of stuff. It was
Seals
a great...
and penguins.
Seals and
We
penguins.
kicked some footballs.
Kicked some footballs.
Putin
Bills
came
fans.
by once. That was a lot of
Putin,
fun.
Missouri
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
racist. A lot of people were racist.
There were some
It's
couches
okay.
on fire.
Couches on
Couches
fire.
on
Potatoes. I remember being hit by potatoes at some point for some reason.
You did
I was
get
in
hit by
Ohio for a
potato.
while.
Yeah,
You
you
were
were
in
in Ohio for a
Ohio.
long time.
We sent you to Arkansas for a spell.
Tyler had
Yeah,
to
I
go
went to
to Waco.
Arkansas. I went to the
I
Malema
had-
household. Nice family.
Yeah, I had to go to Waco. Had to.
Tyler was forced to go to Waco.
I was forced to go to Waco. Didn't want to go to Waco.
You mean something happened to Waco against your will? Is what
Something
you're trying to
happened in
say?
Waco against my will. Yes, that's exactly what happened. So yeah, if you want to text in or call, whatever, give us everything, your favorite memories. Maybe you're happy the show is ending. Some of you will be. Some of you are going to be very sad, and I'm sorry about that. But we have sports to talk to regardless, and we'll get to the end of the, when we get to the end of the show, we'll talk
I mean,
about
if
that.
basketball is a sport.
Basketball is a sport.
I don't know.
I don't know if what they were doing during the All-Star game was sporting. That was kind of just. I think it was like the it was like the Harlem Globetrotters basically.
And the final score was like 197 to.
It was like 196 to 180 something. I think
It was an
196
intense
to
game.
173.
196 to 173.
No defense.
Score was not entertaining.
No.
Nor was the game.
All-Star game this weekend for the NBA, and mainly for me, it's two things. Like, I don't really care about the game itself. I never care. And it's kind of the same with baseball. Like, I don't give a shit about that All-Star game, which is worse than this one because it actually decides something.
Yeah,
you care about two
bullshit.
things, right? You care about home run derby with baseball, and then you care about dunk contests.
Dunk contest.
I mean, that's all we all care
and
about.
skills contests are fun too.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Three-point
Like the
contest,
three-point,
that's always
yeah.
fun.
Well,
That's
it's
really
funny
cool.
because like the NBA already skews younger, like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the youngest skewing audience of any of the big sports, and like the All-Star game also skews younger because
Yeah.
I think younger people like things that don't matter.
Where they think
they're
they think it
lost
matters.
in that
That's
moment.
Joel's
Yeah.
dig for the episode to get in there for the young
The
people.
old man yelling at
like,
cloud
"God
moment.
damn
No, but you guys still
kids.
think that like I think that they should have like home field advantage. I think they should apply that to all sports. I
Oh,
think they should have.
I thought they were gonna come out and be like, "Oh, you still think that life is good and you're happy." Like
No,
once
no,
you cross
no.
once you cross 40, then
so-
this life becomes
you're
miserable.
So dumb. No, but it's just I think they should have. I mean, it's like there's no point in it to me.
That's
unless you
perfect.
have-
It's a break. It's a celebration of the sport itself and to have
Yeah.
a good time.
But is
and
it
do
a-
stuff
is
in the
it-
game.
is it a
could
sport?
become if it became like an and one mixtape, that would be like the best thing ever because it would just be fun, be stupid. They can do stuff during that game they're not going to do during the regular season.
But is that a
Yeah.
sport?
no? Well, it's an
Who gives a
exhibition.
shit? Who gives it? That's what it is. It's a fun weekend.
It's a
I
friendly.
side with Jack on this one. You get negative points right there.
I'm with Joel.
for that.
I'm with
Mark
Joel.
him down.
Well, you get negative points too on
No,
the final day.
you get negative
No,
points.
no, because
No,
it's right. Like, play to your strengths and do what's fun for everyone. That's what they want to see you do.
If you want to watch like an all-star team that's actually competing, watch the Olympics. I mean, that's what that is. That's the best players in like that are from the United States of America playing as a team competitively. If that's what you want to see, watch that because that's
I have to
incredible.
wait 4 years.
That's well, yeah, it's special. special.
I want to see it every year.
Patience, young man.
I wanna see it
Patience.
every
This is
year.
exactly what Joel's talking
You
about.
don't want ice cream every night, young kid.
That's
So, all right,
that's true.
so the main thing for me though with this All-Star game is I didn't care about anything else except Kobe because it was Kobe. This is his last season. It was a really big deal. It's still a really big deal to fans and kids that grew up with him like me. And so they had a badass tribute for him. Like Magic Johnson came out, said a few words, and like put it together like this unreal montage of like Kobe's highlights, which is just there's too many.
And then he freestyle rapped for 5 minutes. That was really weird.
Well, he's transitioning to his new career, obviously.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what's happening there.
But I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on Kobe leaving? Like, I love this. You know, some people are against like this season-long tribute for Kobe, and I'm on the other side. I think it's awesome.
No,
I
for
think
a
they
player-
should go all the way with it.
Yeah, I mean, for a player like Kobe, I mean, that dude, he changed a lot. I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time. Like, he's in the
Yes.
top 5, you could argue. And, you know,
You could argue.
I mean,
You
that's
could
when
argue.
Yeah, that's when you see someone like Derek Jeter quitting. It's like, or retiring, excuse me. He,
Right.
you know, he's gonna get respect even from other teams.
had-
Like, how many people are coming out to watch Kobe's last game in like shit
And,
cities?
and that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the thing with Jeter too. Is like it seemed like every time he played, like there was some tribute that the other team had done for him.
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
meant that much to the sport. And
Absolutely.
Kobe is the exact same
I
way.
think, one
put
of the,
that
I think
in,
one of the
like-
players gave him a Netflix card.
yeah, I think Shaq did, wasn't it? Or someone did. Yeah,
They both, like Jeter and Bryant, both have had like such a huge impact on the sport itself. Like I remember a kid growing up, lived next door, is like, I'm like Kobe Bryant. Look at me, I'm playing
Right.
out.
Yeah.
And the two of them share one thing, and that is loyalty, if you will, as
Yeah.
far as like they stayed with the same team their entire career.
Yeah.
And that's pretty unbelievable. I
At
mean,
one
when you think
point-
of Yankees, you think of Derek Jeter.
At one point,
And
he
certainly-
did demand a trade. He's like, "That's it.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm done."
Well, he was
Now, we're not
tired
going
of
to say that
losing.
Kobe was always the best when he was at
And he
LA.
was like,
and he had that trouble in
almost,
Colorado.
He almost went to Chicago, right? Where it was like, but in the last second he canceled it. But he almost went to the Spurs. And a lot of people in San
That would've been a
Antonio were talking
nightmare.
about it, like how great would the Spurs have been had Kobe gone there? And I'm not entirely
he's
sure
not part of that
because
system.
if
It wouldn't
the
have
thing
fit.
that made the Spurs work is like their team orientation.
Yeah, they have no
And I think they
egos
would
on
have
that
had. I mean,
team.
yeah, had he gone down there, they would have had 1 or 2 great
Yeah.
seasons, and then that would have been
Yeah.
Maybe.
everyone would afraid. But
Jumping back over a second here, someone from Fargo texted in and said, should add cross skills competition to NBA and WNBA. Doesn't have to be a complete scrum match, but at least a shot challenge of some sort. So that'd be kind of cool, like
Yeah.
mixing in, like having like a co-ed match, like a
I think
co-ed
it'd be
basketball
cool.
game. That'd be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Well, they already have that. That's a celebrity
Yeah.
all-star game that they had before, which was funny too, because Canada, they broke it up as Canada versus America.
Oh, okay.
And Canada won,
what
and they
was
gave
that?
the MVP to a Canadian guy, and
he was a singer
immediately-
from. What was he a singer from? Does anybody remember? Stat guys, boys on
watch
the
it.
side.
He just immediately went political.
like,
Like
did
they
he?
handed him
He's
the
like,
microphone.
no,
He's like,
America
he was
could
like,
learn a
"Listen,
thing or two."
America could learn some things from Canada. Our health system, like, that's enough. All right, you're good. They immediately took the mic
No,
away from
Sage Steele was on the call. She's like, yeah, we're not talking about politics. We're talking about like celebrity things, I guess is what she said.
Well, it's weird because when you have that celebrity game, you have that mix of people who are like, I'm a celebrity, it's my job to entertain, not to win the game, I'm gonna have a good time. Versus some of the people who are like, I'm here to win. I'm taking this seriously. So you have that interesting mix in the
Yeah,
game where it's
yeah.
like, I'm taking this seriously versus I'm gonna take my pants off. I don't care.
yeah, exactly.
Which is sort of interesting. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. And it's like, one thing I like about the All-Star game, at least previous ones, not this one so much, it's always fun to watch the first 3 quarters. It's just guys screwing around and alley-ooping each other behind the back passes. In that last quarter, they kind of get those egos like, oh, we got to win this thing. And they start playing, and it's like, that's when it gets fun. It's when they actually start playing and going at each other. It's like, okay, this is kind
Well,
of interesting.
yeah.
Didn't happen this year, but
yeah, this one was a blowout. I mean, the West just
Well, we got
beat
to
the
see
hell out of the
Steph
East.
Curry make a half-court shot, so that's good.
He's so good. It's unbelievable.
And the East blew the hell out of the West, as you said?
Yeah.
No,
No,
the
West.
West,
The hell
was
out of
it?
the East.
Which is
Yeah,
going to be
we're
the story
going to
this
see
year.
that again.
I mean, Greg Popovich there, he
Yeah.
said that this is scary, and I don't know if this is like locker room material for the Spurs.
Yeah.
But he said that
Smart.
the Warriors are unsolvable.
yeah.
Hearing it from that guy,
Yeah.
especially when they came down to his house and beat the tar out of him, I mean, it's
Like we're talking about Kobe, right? And we're talking about what a great player he's supposed to be. And I have like 2 things about that because it's just sort of like when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came out, there was no one like him. When Magic came out, there was no one like him. When Michael Jordan came around, there was no one like him. Larry Bird. When all these guys premiered, there was no player like him. And then
Yeah.
Kobe came along, and Kobe was just like Michael Jordan Part 2.
Yeah,
he
basically.
wasn't like game
picked up.
changing. Now you have like Curry, right? Curry is game changing. He like transcends the sport.
Yeah.
He's somebody who's changing the game.
Yeah, they have to make completely different defensive schemes to even play against the Warriors now.
And
You
it
always
doesn't
have to
even-
have a guy on Curry. You cannot play the game without a guy
which
on Curry.
opens up the rest of the court to guys like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, who are just unbelievable, and Harrison Barnes as well. Like the cast of characters on that team, it's never ending.
And this is why I'm saying it's unsolvable. And I mean, it's unbelievable. 10 years from now, it's going to be to the point where somebody's going to hit a basket, they take the ball out of bounds, shoot the basket, and it's just going to be like no one's going to be dribbling across the court. It's just going to be. I mean, I was literally walking by a hoop the other day, and just like a ball fell from the sky. And I was like, well, there's
signed by Steph Curry. It's like Steph Curry's ball. Please
all the way
return.
from Golden State.
Danny Meeson on Twitter said, "I'm sad that I can't yell Kobe when throwing something into a bin anymore. I have to yell Curry or something." So,
No, you can still yell Kobe.
You can still say Kobe.
do Kobe.
Let me ask you-
Always
That's going to go
Kobe.
for another few more
Let
years.
me ask you this. So the guy who scored the most points, I think it was 100 points back in the day.
Wilt Chamberlain.
yeah.
Number 2 on the list is Kobe. He
Kobe
has
at 81.
81 points.
Yeah.
Is that going to be broken?
I
Is
don't,
someone
I,
going to break
I don't
81
see.
points?
I don't think Steph Curry is the kind of guy to do that. I don't think he's the kind of one to throw up 100 points in a
If
game.
you watch a lot of the games too, he's not playing into the fourth because they're not needing to win games.
Yeah,
A lot of the times that Kobe was in those.
If Curry stopped taking shot attempts right here today, didn't take another attempt for the rest of the season, he would be 7th all time for threes.
Just
in
for
this
this season,
season.
God damn.
So it's like I think Curry could break that record, especially if you're raining threes.
He could
man.
potentially, but 81, and I mean, maybe he could get that. He's got to get it before the third quarter.
Yeah.
In my
He's not
opinion,
gonna throw
because I don't think he's
34
going to go.
threes.
At some
I don't think
point,
Steve
is there-
Kerr is going to be having a star player out there just to get. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe even a minute. Sometimes like Draymond Green when
he
they
gets
edged out that
maybe
game.
later in his career, or if it gets to be like a playoff game or something like that, you're not going to pull him, right?
But also, who wants
No,
to beat Wilt
no, well,
Chamberlain?
of course not, no.
Who wants to break that record? That's a hell of a record.
Wait, which record are we talking
The
about?
100
Well,
point.
I'm just
I mean, 'cause
I'm
we're
just
talking
saying,
about- we're talking about
I'm
a
just
few
saying let's get
records
to
there.
81 first before we get to 100.
Are you
Like,
at 81 yet?
I feel like it. My pancreas.
No, have you reached 81 yet?
Have I reached 81?
Yeah, because we're talking about Wilt Chamberlain's record.
Yeah.
Have you reached 81?
Have I reached 81?
Yeah.
I already made the age joke. Are we doing another joke? Are we talking about some other?
Well, because he has 2 records. He has the point scored and then most women slept with. Remember, he's
Oh, that's okay. I don't know if we can go in that direction.
Real quick, Spiffyish on Twitter just said Kobe is also a term in Counter-Strike for grenade kills too, so we can't lose that. So there you go. There's some
Kobe's
some
a
gaming
huge
stuff.
gamer too, by the way. He
Is he?
loves Call
Yeah.
of Duty. In fact, he was in one of the commercials I think 3 years ago.
that's right.
With like Jimmy Kimmel and the rest. Like
He's gonna have a
a
lot more
COD guy.
time now to get his game better. So
Well, he's a super
we look
talented
forward
guy.
to
Like
that.
he plays the piano, he speaks French. Like
He's smart.
I want Kobe Bryant's life. And
It's funny though because it's just sort of like Kobe. I don't know if I would. I mean, he's obviously a Hall of Fame player, but it's just sort of like the Lakers kind of made a decision early on where it's like, okay, let's bring Kobe onto the team, and then he's had a problem with every single center or whoever else that they bring on the team ever, and it's just sort of like you can have Kobe, you can have the rest of the league.
God, what would happen
And
if Shaq would have hung around, man? That would have been incredible.
I was
Kobe
living in
and-
LA during that time.
Yeah?
And all it was, every single day was the radio just talking about the arguments between Kobe and Shaq.
Oh, really?
Every day it was just sort of like this, that. So if you were in LA, you knew that wasn't going to last.
Okay.
And it's just sort of like, then they bring in another guy. And
I mean, they
there's
eventually got
problems
their
there.
center and Gasol, and like that, Kobe seemed to like him.
Seemed like the only
And
guy.
that was like the only one. Yeah,
Seems like
that
the
they
only
got,
one,
you
yeah.
got along with.
But yeah, I mean, it's like if you're the Lakers, he's a Hall of Famer. That's great. You're probably happy to get him out of there. Like Peyton Manning.
Oh no, for sure. And it's kind of like with Jeter
yeah.
too. Like he was a liability at shortstop. Like for sure. Like
Yeah.
he
Towards
had
the
been
end?
for a couple of years.
As well
like,
as salary, I mean, in
yeah,
basketball,
and like
salary
you don't
cap
want to be
space.
paying him that either. Like everybody wants Kobe to be gone, but like I thought the tribute was awesome.
So Oluwajo Mil Oju on Twitter said, I think I got that right, said Kobe's 81 is untouchable. Warriors won't need 81 from Curry. Lakers did. That's a good point. You know, like who
That
else?
is a good point
Yeah.
because they have other guys that can like.
Yeah. The Warriors
That's a
have
great
a
point.
team full of players, where the
do.
Lakers sometimes like Kobe might be the only guy who can
just
score
Kobe.
that day.
It's
Yeah.
just
Of
Kobe.
course, right now we're just talking about like the infrastructure that you see in front of you, which that's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point that's going to get broken up. Like you can't have, you just are not going to be able to afford.
No,
everything.
everybody's going to want their money. They're going to have to go somewhere else. I mean, let's not forget that Harden, Westbrook, and Durant were all on the same team. You're not
And they
keeping
were
all
t-
three of them together.
And you heard the rumors about Durant going maybe to Golden State,
Yeah.
which of
Oh my
course.
Which
God.
yeah, that's insanity. That's insanity.
If Durant went to Golden State, does that turn like everyone's happy favorite team? We all love Golden State to like now we all hate their guys.
I think it,
Oh, absolutely.
I think it would actually be a detriment if he went to Golden State. Now, stick with me. So, I mean, that would be amazing to have those two scores there. I don't know where Kevin Durant fits in.
Yeah.
Where does
Well,
he fit in
it's
right now with
also-
the best team in the league where they have it figured out to a T every single game?
It's also, do you want to mess with that chemistry, right? Where
no,
it's
yeah,
like,
that's the bigger thing. You don't want to mess with that. Plus, how much money are you paying?
Who's taking the final shot?
Like, Curry's taking the final shot every single time over Durant. Like, if they're on that team, it's Curry's team. But, like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
Probably
some
not.
people can transition into that role of being like number 2. Some people can. So
It's just never going to happen. So, and hell, Oklahoma City has that problem with Durant and Westbrook right now about who takes the final shot, who's the lead dog on that team.
That's been the story with them going back
Since
forever,
day
and that's
one,
one of the reasons why
it pissed me
the
off
Harden
when Westbrook,
argument.
like in the finals against Miami, he had one of the best all-time finals performances. We had like 44 points or something, like 10 boards, and losing effort.
Yeah, James Harden didn't show up at all in that
Like
series.
it's like whenever I see like Melo put up like 58, it's like, did they win?
No, he doesn't play
Like,
defense.
did they win?
It's
Did they do
funny.
anything? Like Melo is so fucking overrated.
Carmelo Anthony does kind of remind me of Kobe in that way, where it's like it's going to be him, and he's going to be just. I'm not sure you have a locker
So
room.
Matthew D on Twitter has pointed out the NBA salary cap is going way up these next few years. Could make some interesting teams soon. So that could be fun. That's when the salary cap changes. That's when people start getting stupid. So it could be interesting. Either players going to be making a lot more money, or you're going to see some really interesting mixes of teams.
You know what was stupid was the dunk contest. It was
yes.
one of the best this year. Everybody's saying it's like one of the best, hands down. So we got some highlights from that. Zach Levine and
do I
Aaron
have
Gordon.
a stat for you?
oh
on this?
my.
Well, tell me some stats because we're just gonna watch
Look at
dunks
that.
and talk because it's just.
Okay, you want to
360
know?
under
You want to
the
know
leg.
the most ridiculous thing about this entire dunk contest?
What?
What's
Joel?
that?
Okay, so
Magic.
apparently Gordon jumped high enough to win the bronze medal in the high jump in the 2012 Olympics
God.
during this dunk contest.
Is that true?
That's absolutely
Are you
true.
making shit up? Is that
No,
true?
I'm not.
Okay.
Well, like his head was above that high, or like
No, his feet.
oh
insane.
my.
Look at that clearance.
That's insane, right?
Yeah.
This is good enough. I'm not
These
sure
weren't
what
even the
dunk
best
it was
ones.
on. I think I'm not sure. I thought was it 7 feet 7 inches? I'm not sure, but somebody can double check my math.
That's
That's
unbelievable.
nuts.
Now, Zach Levine, I think, would go on to win, but I think Aaron Gordon had like the dunk of the night, and he had the one with the mascot that I think.
Oh yeah, I
seen.
think
Have
we
you
were
seen
about
this
to
one?
see that
Well,
one.
the
This
mascot
one
was
is
on a
awesome.
hoverboard, right?
Oh, was he on one of the?
Well, not
No,
this
he's
one.
on
later.
It was
He
on the
was
last
on-
one.
yeah,
He was on the
last one.
hoverboard. But the fact that the
But
mascot
this one
didn't
was
die.
absolutely insane.
Oh, this might have been the jump right here because look at his legs.
Oh my God.
He's over the mascot.
His ass was over the mascot's head.
Unbelievable.
and he has time to look it under his legs.
Oh man, look at that. That's what not Anthony Kennedy. What's that guy's name? Dude,
Keen Peele.
no, that's
No, that. I think
Anthony
you got it right.
Thomas?
Anthony
Anthony
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's
sounds
what- that was
right.
my-
Here we
You
go.
know
Here's
how
the
they
part
really
of it.
talk about like the
is that
word.
you just see
his butt.
celebrities.
Oh,
Jesus.
there's two things about the dunk contest. I think they need to have a contest
Look
for the
how
people
high he is.
watching the dunk contest to see who
that high.
loses their mind the most. And the other thing is, you know how like some of the best videos on the internet are like weightlifting accidents?
Oh
I
god.
really would love to see like some good dunk contest
You know, when you ask-
accidents.
We
Like,
should
I
go
would
do
love to
that.
see
Oh
like
my God.
the mascot just break his arm in some sort of horrible way.
Or
Who
you
wouldn't-
get
who
like,
doesn't
get
wanna
like
see
a
that?
finger caught in the net or something.
Oh,
You know, when
God.
you ask me, hey, what are the best videos on the internet? My thoughts don't immediately go to or go to weightlifting accidents. That's
Oh,
not
they're
where I go.
horrible. Look up like
No,
weightlifting. Oh.
no,
You
I'm
should
not
Google-
going to.
The other one was
Google,
like people getting stuff pulled out of their nose at the doctor. That's horrific.
Oh,
No, I think it's
Jesus
penguin.
Christ.
Penguin seal.
Yeah,
Google that.
Penguin seal.
You're gonna see some
a
shit.
seal having
Anthony Anderson. Anthony Anderson.
I would love
Thank
to
you,
do a
thank
dunk
you,
contest
Sierra.
like
Appreciate
that.
that.
Like that would be fun to do one of those. Like, because I don't think we would do very well.
No,
if
I
we
don't
did
think
a
I don't
dunk
have ups
contest like
at
that.
all. My ups are gone. They retired.
Man.
Sorry, I left you kind of like hanging there. With
Yeah, I was
one
like,
minute.
well,
I
there you
apologize.
go. I left a shitty joke just
Yeah.
hanging out there, and it's like no one started talking
No,
afterwards.
those reaction videos are awesome. In fact, I murdered somebody today. You saw that?
No, yeah.
I burned that dude.
Yeah,
down.
yeah, that was pretty brutal.
That was brutal.
Yeah,
Are you setting up for an awkward transition to that other side?
Oh,
maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's a rough
Yeah,
transition.
we are. We can transition to that.
I don't want to
No,
cut the
this
subject
guy
out.
was asking me on Twitter today. He's like, because people ask me like random questions, like I fucking know anything about sports. FYI, I don't. And so he asked me, he's like, my brother, he's a huge like Jaguars fan. Like, what do you think the team needs to get this free agency? I told him they need to get a new team. Jaguars.
You should be a
just
general
scrap it.
manager.
Like seriously,
Just
like,
scrap
and
it.
for another city that needs another, like just completely new team, Cleveland.
There you go.
Every year, that's Cleveland,
Just
right?
just restart every year. Just wipe it clean.
Every single
Yeah,
year. I like
roll
what they
the
got
dice.
with Hugh Jackson. That's going to be interesting. So, anyways, Cleveland. Speaking of which, the people of Cleveland I love because there's not a more resilient group of people outside of Buffalo.
There was a guy wearing like Cleveland garb at the Super Bowl who like tried to like get near the Super Bowl trophy and they kicked him out. This is a true story.
Really?
Like a fan, like
I
they
just want
kicked
to
him.
touch it.
Like, sir, do you see what you're wearing? You're gonna have to step away,
So
sir.
no
Thank you.
Cleveland Brown stuff.
This will never be yours.
Yeah. So please avert your eyes. Look away from the trophy, sir.
Resilient is the word.
Resilient is a word. I don't know. This story came out of Cleveland. This is hilarious. There's some like weird stories that came out, so I figured we could talk about a few of those. And then we're
Yeah.
going to get to the SI swimsuit edition because we have to talk about that too.
We have to talk about
We
that.
have to talk about that. It's
Required
a good
by
thing.
law.
It's a good thing. It's not a creepy thing. I mean, Joel might be creepy with it, but I don't think it's going to be creepy. But no, some crazy stories like coming out of Cleveland. This kid, he was a teenager playing rec league soccer, and he got kicked out of this league for the most hilarious list of complaints of all time.
Nice.
Like shit where it was like, you got kicked out because you wore a cowboy hat one day while playing. Where you switched jerseys with the other team and tried to play with them. Where you got ejected from a game and then you tried to get back in wearing another player's jersey on your own team.
Nice.
Like he had ones where it's like giving birth to a soccer ball. There's like you scored 14 goals when you're only allowed to score 3. Like this guy is a
Jesus.
fucking legend. And they detail it out over like 3 weeks. Of like every week there was a
If you
different
go
complaint.
through that list, it is very funny.
It's hilarious.
Have you ever played like in an intramural
Yes.
league?
Yes.
All right. I used to,
Where were you leading me?
When I
there?
was in Los Angeles, I played in softball leagues all the time.
Oh. We
Sounds
got
like
some.
the
We got some.
Sports
Oh,
Illustrated
yeah, we
stories
got some
on
Sports
there.
Illustrated audio playing. That's interesting.
We just have audio.
So we're getting the best part of the Sports
Yeah.
Illustrated
We're gonna find out who
swimsuit,
won.
and
Yeah.
We're getting the audio.
Now it's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. That was it. Game over. The controller just looked around.
Yeah.
Just,
What
they're
were you
all
saying?
pointing fingers at each other. That's really strange. Oh, someone's got an axe out. Jesus.
I had a point, but
What was
it?
your, no, what was your
you're
point?
playing. So you just what? Are
No,
you
you were like, have you ever played rec league, Tyler? And I was like, yes. You're like, all right.
It's funny to read about it, but it's like I used to.
You were serious about rec league, right? Like you used to
Well,
play.
I took it. I didn't take it that seriously compared to people who do take it seriously. I mean, there are people who like live and die by that stuff. I mean,
So-
there are just
Yes.
people who take it so seriously.
So my brother-in-law and me and Joel went out to a baseball field one time just to go play some home run derby, just like pitch around, screw around on a baseball field. And Joel's like, this bat right here, this is like a $500 bat. I used to use this in rec league, and he was so protective of the bat. What was so special about that bat?
That bat was illegal. Like people have been
cork it?
killed by that bat. The technology they use in this bat was like they deep freeze it to like slow down the molecule to make it hard. I mean that bat is unbelievable. But I don't know. I didn't kill anyone with it.
No, you
so
didn't.
it was
But
like-
you were a super serious guy out there.
No, I wasn't. I really
You weren't?
wasn't. I mean,
Were you where like everyone else is
compared to
drinking beer, and you're like, "Come on, guys, what the hell? Like, I've got a plan here.
Oh, my
like, look
God.
at this. Follow the instruction." No, were you that guy?
like in
That's a
softball,
yes.
it's easy to tell who the crazy guy is because it's always the guy who's gonna like charge into home plate and like it's always like a little girl catcher or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the guy who's gonna charge into home plate. I was never that guy.
Sure.
Never be that guy.
No,
There's a
never be that guy.
balance.
But you can play
There's
intense.
a balance.
I made a girl shit herself this year. When we played kickball.
Had nothing to do with sports.
No,
just in general.
we played kickball, which is not nearly as fun as it sounds. It was awful. It was a
terrible.
horrible experience. It was terrible, dude. Like the ball is huge, by the way.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They're,
Very
like,
hard
massive.
to throw.
And they're,
you
like,
have to
oblong,
throw,
right?
Yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
it's hard to
and you
kick.
kicked a girl with the ball and she pooped.
No, he screamed
No,
at her.
she didn't poop when I didn't kick her.
You yelled at her?
He
No,
he ran at her.
I
yelling,
ran at her. Cole remembered. I ran at her.
Yelling.
Well, I didn't yell. I
You
was
were like,
just.
ah!
Well, I might have been like I was gonna, because you can throw the ball when they're on the base pass. If they're running through, you can peg them with the ball. So
And it's like an out.
I
So
caught
you're
the
that
ball.
metaphorical guy.
No,
yeah,
I
he's
got the
absolutely
ball,
that guy,
and I
is
was
what it
running
sounds
at
like.
this tiny little lady, and she just cowered onto the ground and pooped herself. And she just sat there like
That's awful.
it
Did you
was
keep
terrible.
running or did you check on her?
And
I
that lady was
apologize.
He hit her with the
cold.
ball. He
That
threw it
lady
at her.
was- No,
You
it
hit
was-
her? She
Tyler
was
is a
out. She didn't get
terrible
out.
person.
I
So
mean,
you ran
yes,
at her
but not
screaming,
because
and
of that.
she shit herself.
Basically,
Did you
yeah.
roll it at least?
Sports.
No
No,
idea.
he threw it.
But I wasn't. No, I'm
How
not.
did you know? I don't want to know any more of this story.
It's just that's a thing that happens.
That's terrible.
Hey, speaking of kickball, and someone, William Sutton here on Twitter says, please take this opportunity to talk about the U.S. women's national team scoring 10 goals against Costa Rica. There you go. All right, so
You know, I'll tell you what. America doesn't do many things correctly.
Yeah.
But America does do women's sports
Women- yeah,
correctly.
absolutely.
Our women go out and just crucify everybody. They
crush.
kill everybody, everything. It's
Dude,
great.
the world-
It's like that at UT. Like all of our female teams at UT, they cannot lose.
yeah, our basketball
Ever.
team's kicking
and
ass
they
right
cannot
now,
get
right?
any attention.
Yeah.
Cannot get any attention. They win everything.
Well, they won the World Cup this year.
Yeah, the
when
Women's
soccer
World
did.
Cup was brutal. Like, they just destroyed
Yeah.
them.
One of my favorite memes on the internet. There's a girl soccer player who's just like blood's just coming out of her face, and she doesn't care. She spits it up, and then you cut to like a male soccer player. He's like,
Just rolling around.
Fake injury. Somebody has to find that.
All right,
Just
so
gotta queue
on
up.
that, to make you feel bad, here's a headline for you, Joel. Soccer ref in Argentina murdered on the field by player he red carded.
Ooh.
Now that's how you know when you're taking the sport too seriously.
Don't be
Is
that
when you,
guy.
when you run out into the field and you kill the ref, or even if you're a player.
Like, that's the line.
If you're a
When
player.
murder comes into play, at that point, yeah, you might be taking it
It's
a bit
not
too
good.
far.
To be fair, if I'm in South America, and we
Yeah.
already know this, like the Brazilian, team loses the World Cup, everyone knows they're dead. Like this has been going on for years and years and years.
They're all
That's
dead.
why if I'm living in South America, I'm not playing soccer. I'm staying away from soccer.
What do you?
fields.
What? Okay, I was about to be really offensive to South Americans.
So, you know-
I was going to say, what else is there to do in South America other than play
Other-
soccer?
Not die.
You got Carnival.
what?
You got
Anything.
Carnival. That's
You
something
can
to do.
Carnival.
You
You
can
know,
be part of
you
that
can
amazing
dance.
parade.
Yeah, you can get the Zika virus or
you can get
whatever.
the
Yeah,
Zika
that's fine.
virus.
Zika virus.
Plenty of
Ziki?
other things.
What-
to do.
I don't know.
else?
Is Zika? I don't know.
There's like
Okay.
you can go into
Tyler.
the jungle and get eaten by a snake.
Cocaine.
Wax,
Cocaine.
You can do cocaine, become a
Cocaine.
waxer.
This is why everyone turns to drugs in South America.
That's unfortunate for them. Yes.
Yeah, like it's gonna be interesting with the Olympics down there this year too. So it's gonna be
Oh,
like
that's
freaking
gonna
the
be
fuck out.
really
you know they
interesting.
have like the parade of athletes at the very beginning. You think at the end of it when they have the second one, it's gonna be like 2 Brazilian guys left. The rest, everyone else has been murdered by the end of it.
Everything that you need to know about the Olympics is this. The most popular rated part of the Olympics is the opening parade.
Oh, really?
That's the highest rated part of the
Well, I
Olympics.
think- I don't
where
know if it's
everyone
parade, it's
walks
probably-
out to music.
Yeah, you wanna
Everyone
see
walks
your
around in a
guy.
circle.
It's the opening ceremony. I think
Opening
is what
ceremony.
It is. Yeah. Well, that's where they have like the crazy pageantry and stuff.
I think that what they should do is just give everyone like fighting equipment, and they all just charge the field, and then the last guy, that country wins.
Like the original
That
Olympics.
is how the
Yeah.
Olympics should be.
it's just gladiators.
Yeah,
basically.
original
Do you remember?
Olympics.
Do you remember the Winter Olympics up in Vancouver not too long ago, where they had the 4 things that were supposed to come up and like light fire, and one of them broke, and they just stood there for like 5 minutes, not sure what to do, and like Wayne Gretzky looked super pissed off because he's like,
This is my Olympics.
National. It happened,
Yeah.
it happened in the Russian one too, right? Where one of
did
the
it?
rings didn't light up or something.
oh
right?
yeah, it was like the asterisk,
And
or
the
no,
jo-
they
the
were
j-
supposed to expand, and
Right.
yeah, the Sochi,
And
then
the
that
joke
one.
on Twitter is like, Putin's going to kill that guy.
Yeah. Well, it's not. We expected that one with Russia for something not to work. Like
and then
that was okay.
Audi came out and did a little logo based on that. It was like the 4 stars and the asterisk, so that was pretty clever. But
It
anyway,
was very clever.
That was very clever. Yeah,
Oh,
so,
it's so sad we're going to miss the Olympics with so many
man.
like horrible jokes
I know
at
we
people's
are
expense.
going to miss a few things. We're going to miss a few things. Like I'm not going to miss this. I'm not going to miss Peyton Manning.
oh, Peyton Manning, is he
not-
retiring yet? Is he announced
Listen,
he's retiring?
we
He
have-
will be shortly.
Is it-
This
You're-
is an amazing story. Like in politics, all of a sudden, some weird story comes out of nowhere by some opposition. Obviously, it came from. Now, the story was breaking that 22 years ago, when Peyton Manning was at Tennessee, there was an incident that occurred with him and a trainer where something happened.
Yeah.
And then she filed a sexual assault charge. It came to a conclusion where I believe she was paid $300,000.
Yeah, there was a
And
settlement.
the judge made both of them sign an agreement saying that neither of them would talk about it again. Then in the book, then in Peyton Manning's book, I guess his dad referred to the incident in the book, but the facts of this are very cluttered.
Yeah.
And I've heard 2 versions of this story. I've heard one version of the story where the trainer, she was the trainer at Tennessee. She had been with him she'd been there for 8 years, never had an incident, nothing had ever been wrong. He had been there for 4 years, no incident. And she was wrapping his ankle or his foot. And then I've heard 2 different versions of the story.
How many versions have
One
you heard?
version of the story is he was facing away from her and his butt was exposed and he was mooning a teammate. They're in the locker room. The other version of the story is the exact same story except for he was faced the other direction where his junk was facing her. And so I don't know what happened. One story has it where he was mooning a teammate and then she pushed him away and said, stop that or something like that.
She called him an ass. Actually,
Call him an ass,
like,
push
is
him away,
her
call him an ass.
words.
And then the other version is he's facing her, and I guess his junk was near her face or something. So
Now, either way, no matter how it went down, inappropriate by Peyton Manning.
well,
However,
I'll tell you what. I mean, if you're in a male, it is inappropriate.
It's inappropriate no
not
matter what.
good. You
It's
shouldn't
not
do it.
good.
But it's like if you're mooning a teammate and you didn't realize she was down there or something like that or whatever. not a great idea, but I don't think you should have a
never.
charge like a sexual assault on your record for the rest of your life. 'cause
Right,
you're
but
ruining a
I
teammate.
think either way, like the fact he knew that she was down there. She was working on his ankle. Like she was there. She was present. He was definitely playing a joke on her. Whether he thought it was male teammates finding it funny, or if he himself thought it was funny, or if he thought that maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm not trying to make a joke here. That's what Peyton Manning likes to do.
Well,
I
also,
don't know.
you're 20 and dumb.
And you're
Right?
20
Yeah,
and
yeah.
dumb.
You're an idiot,
yeah.
right?
Regardless,
21, 22.
regardless,
at
the
that point,
story
probably.
gets interesting because this story comes out because of Tennessee's bigger problem right
Bigger.
now.
This is where it gets bad again, right?
Remember when we talked about Baylor? Multiply that by like 100 and how bad of a situation that
and
is in
this,
Tennessee.
this is where I run into problems with the Peyton Manning thing. Is like Tennessee tried to like again cover it all
Yeah,
up and blah
yeah,
blah blah.
yeah.
Don't cover it all up and don't like create an institutional problem. And the way she was treated after that, again, not good. She lost her job.
Right.
Went to the University of Florida. I guess something happened there where they floated a story, got her fired.
Well, once
there.
again,
That's not good.
like you said, the judge told them that they cannot speak about it. They had a confidentiality agreement with this settlement, and Peyton kept talking about it. Now, he wouldn't talk
Yeah.
about it directly, like naming her, but he would talk about the situation where he had to keep settling again and again, where it's like, Peyton, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would talk about this. One, you should, I don't know, who's in your corner telling you, like, this is okay to do. Like most people, they have handlers like that where I don't know why you would let this be reported in stories when you get interviewed and let it go out video-wise. Like it blows my mind
Yeah.
that he had the gall to
Well,
be like
I
that.
have
And
a
that tells a lot about the story and about who Peyton Manning is.
Well, and
it's about a kid who can, and I think this was a bigger problem, and this is the problem that we had with Baylor and every other athlete.
It's also
is that,
it's the institution that supports it.
well,
right?
no, it's that athletes think they can get away with fucking anything.
well,
and it doesn't
because
matter.
but why do they think that? Because the schools let them, right?
Well, and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
because
so-
my daddy's Archie fucking Manning and has a street and a city, everything named after him. He's the king of Bourbon Street. Like, it's ridiculous. And I do believe the side that Archie Manning, his family, the Manning family, thought this isn't that big of a deal. We're going to settle. Nobody's going to talk about this. I'm going to bail out my son. He's a star at Tennessee. Nobody's going to mess with us.
Yeah.
And I do believe that side of it. Do I believe it's
don't-
sexual misconduct?
I don't
Yes.
know.
Sexual assault? I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, again, it's just sort of like sexual assault is a horrible, terrible thing. Very, very bad.
Yes.
Guilty party's bad. People who accuse people of doing that who didn't do that, that's also bad.
Absolutely.
I don't know what happened with this story. I
Yeah.
feel like I need to know.
I feel
what
like there is
happened.
not enough there for us to comment one way or the other.
But I'll
I
tell you,
think
I'll
there's-
tell you what. I mean, again, she obviously took the money, like for $300,000. So obviously it was concluded. This was 22 years ago. I mean, it's just sort of like I'm not sure why we're talking about it now.
No,
Like,
it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the New York. Well, it comes out because Peyton Manning is actually listed in a new lawsuit that Tennessee is dealing with when it comes to the sexual, the rape scandal that's going on
Yeah,
right
and
there
I
right
guess they
now.
have
He's listed in that lawsuit, and that's why. It got
that's, I
put
guess
back
so.
out
And
again.
then there's other teammates who apparently were picking on other teammates who were defending potential innocent.
Long story short, two guys raped a girl. One teammate
Is this-
saw this or knew this was happening, tried to take the girl to the hospital, and then they beat the shit out of him for doing that.
See, this is like the
Yeah.
scum
There you
of the
go,
earth.
Tennessee.
Yeah, that's
This is the scum of the
And
earth.
so remember last week when we were talking about Baylor, I want people to recognize here again in this case, this isn't necessarily a Baylor problem or a Tennessee problem, like you said, Joel.
It's an institution problem.
An institution problem. This isn't just
Man,
like individual schools.
You know how you
This is
solve. You know how you
everyone.
solve this problem is just destroy these guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, kick them off the team forever, and
Yeah.
let them deal with their charges, and if they're guilty, go to jail forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this comes in on the text line, and I agree with some of these.
It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
texts. This comes in from Santa Rosa, California, saying, "We have money. The law does not apply to us." As being the mentality.
It's just, again, but I
behind
mean,
the Mannings. Also comes in Mannings also shamed that girl because she reported it. That is also true.
I want to be balanced here, though, for sure, right? Guilty parties, no matter what side that they're on, need to be held accountable. And there have been cases where there have been guys who have targets on their backs who are innocent and were proven innocent, didn't do anything, and somebody threw the "you raped me" thing at them, and that is just as damaging. I mean, if can you imagine having that on your record, where it's like, someone accused me of rape? That's
Right,
your
'cause
life is destroyed.
Well, that
reputation
happened with the
is,
Duke
is
lacrosse
everything.
thing years ago.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
And I think, well,
It's
here's
just-
my thing: where there's smoke, there's fire. I also think that innocent people don't settle for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well,
And that's just my opinion.
No, I'm not talking to any specific case. Like I don't
No, and
know.
I know you're
I mean,
not.
I'm just saying.
I know you're not.
Because
we're friends.
If just people would
I like
stop
you.
being jackasses, if people would stop being jackasses, and again, the institutions,
And it's
don't
coming in.
cover it
Florida
up
State
and
doing
don't-
the same thing with Jameis Winston. I think there's a lot of unanswered questions there. Once
Yeah.
again, they settled out of court. Once again, it's in my opinion, innocent people don't settle for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That's just me. So it's a problem all over the country.
All right, real quick, I want to get here. Simon Turner on Twitter said, any chance of talking about the Six Nations tournament today? #rugby. There you go.
Yes, all right.
Hey,
We did it again.
Six
Yes.
Nations.
We're
go Japan.
covering. We're going around. Yeah, we got women's soccer. We got rugby. We're doing them all today. We're getting them all out of our system.
Diversifying.
Yep.
All right,
So-
can we let's name the Six Nations?
Japan, New Zealand,
Croatia,
Australia.
I think, is one of them.
I
All right,
picked
we're at
3.
4.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. Mm-hmm. So Japan, Czech Republic.
I don't think Czech Republic.
No. You think it's Czechoslovakia? You think it's the old school one?
I'm gonna go with
I got him
neither.
over here. Keep going.
Six Nations. Oh, Jesus. You actually have the list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's probably
We know it's not Brazil because their team was killed.
they're all dead. Is England on there?
Yes.
Oh, England.
Hey!
All right, so
yeah.
England,
That's it, I'm done.
Japan,
Nope.
No.
Australia,
Nope.
No.
Afghanistan,
No.
No.
Zimbabwe.
Close.
Spain?
South Africa.
No.
Fuck.
Spain.
Canada.
Yes.
Spain?
Spain.
All right,
I'm
Spain.
that's two. I got two of them now.
That's
All right.
Italy.
1/3.
Third, we want.
Italy?
We want
France.
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 Oh,
You're
shit.
not gonna get the last two.
okay. Luxembourg. Norway.
That's actually
Botswana.
same mindset as Luxembourg.
So it's going to be tiny, like Switzerland or something?
Botswana.
Smaller.
Smaller than
Switzerland.
Vatican City.
I actually don't know how big.
Can we get a ruling on
Yeah.
Switzerland?
New Switzerland. New
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Also, Scotland and Wales.
Scotland and Wales.
Scotland and
okay,
Wales,
there you go.
okay. So those
There
are the
you go.
Six
Oh my
Nations.
God.
So
Rugby.
how does Japan fit into
Hashtag-
that?
Oh, and
Rugby.
Ireland. We didn't say Ireland.
So how does Japan
What
fit
does
with
the,
those?
what does the
Japan
rugby?
doesn't seem
What does
like
the
it fit.
rugby dunk contest look like?
Like jump over the crossbar. Go nuts. All right. Peter Hayes says this is why Sportsball doesn't do rugby. We just did rugby.
Hey,
That's what did
come
injustice.
on.
What are you
just
talking
named
about?
all the countries
This
that are
is this
involved.
is their last chance to get any questions answered.
There
so
you go.
it's like
Yeah,
you
by
better
the way, if you're just tuning in,
Spain is not in the Six Nations. What are you chatting, Cole? According to
are
Tom
you just
Palmer.
you making us look like fools?
Oh yeah, it wasn't Spain.
You just went on the internet and lied?
Not the first. Not the first time.
Yeah.
It's coming in saying
I thought
there's
I
no
couldn't
such
read for a
place as
second.
Czechoslovakia.
They should make.
Yeah, yeah, that's the,
Because
yeah.
you got renamed to
It's
things.
Czech Republic.
They should make
that
6
was the
more
joke.
nations.
That was the joke.
It's Yugoslavia. Is that what you're gonna roll next?
Yeah, yeah,
That's the Six
Yugoslavia.
Nations.
all
Same
those
deal.
Eastern Bloc jokes.
All right, well, moving on. What's next? What happy story do we have next?
What happy story do we have next?
Oh, shit.
So I went happy. Cleveland team gets kicked out of rec league.
Yeah.
That's funny. Peyton Manning doing what he did to that nurse. And then we go really dark with soccer ref murdered on field by player he red carded.
God damn.
So why don't you read the next headline?
Real quick, before we do this, I just want to point out at the top of our thing, it says President's Day segments. Yay, President's
I
Day!
was gonna do something with like
Jesus
Mount
Christ.
Rushmore. I don't know. I phoned it in. It's the last show. You want me to
okay.
be fucking honest?
Okay,
The last page says Fan Appreciation Day.
there you go. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
everything
hey,
in one
it's-
day.
We never got to see our covers of our Sports Illustrated swimsuit.
No, we haven't made it that far yet.
Oh, okay, I made it
Spoiler
far.
alert.
Okay, so the last story in
transitions.
this batch of 4 amazing happy stories was Ronda Rousey says she felt suicidal right after Holly Holm knocked her out. There we go.
Yeah.
Nice, cheery.
Good job on you. And there's a smiley face after it for some reason.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
It is true.
So
So she was on Ellen today,
Okay.
talking about like going to the locker room after that fight,
Right.
And apparently, like when she initially got hit, like she couldn't tell the distance at all. She had
Like
no
the
depth
very
perception.
first
Okay.
hit, like
Yeah.
from right out of the gate, like she was done.
Had no depth perception. Yeah.
you get clocked in the head or something.
Yeah.
He's lost depth perception.
Yeah, and then she talked about how like she says actually here it's quote.
That
it's like,
is going to tend to happen if you get clocked in the head.
she was-
You're going to lose depth perception.
Well, she talked about it, like obviously it was a big deal. It was almost like you could almost equate it to like a Cam Newton type of fall of like this
Oh, yeah.
bravado coming into this match like she's the best in the world. We've never seen anybody like her.
And everybody-
And then if you fall that hard, you're gonna get ridiculed, and you know how deep it's gonna go. And I think she had a pretty good idea
Yeah,
after that. 'Cause she was devastated, not just only from just getting her ass kicked, but she knew what that meant, getting her ass kicked the way she did. Like nobody expected that to happen. She didn't expect that to happen. You knew that was gonna be a dark place for her. And she goes on to say, after the fight, she said, "I was literally sitting there thinking about killing myself." And goes on at length about that, about the hole that she had put herself into in this dark place. And then talked about, she said, "I'm nothing. What do I do anymore? No one gives a shit about me anymore with this." And
You
she
know-
said, "To be honest, I looked up and saw my man Travis standing there, and I looked up and I was like, I need to have his babies." And that's
I think,
that
yeah,
quote.
she's trying to make the thing that she
Yeah.
needs to live to have
She needs to live to
have
have
kids
a
or whatever.
purpose.
or whatever.
I
but
guess
it's
if she felt like she didn't have one before.
I never got the sense from Rousey ever at any time that she was sort of in a mental situation where she was going to like take her own life ever. I never sort of got that.
Yeah, I think it was more of just like kind of a like
so
I was the top, I
moment-
was the hot shit, and then all of a sudden I got taken down a few pegs, and it's like fuck, what do I do?
But
Right.
we were talking
Yeah.
about this before the show, right? We were sort of making guesstimations. Like she was like in that big movie.
Yeah.
Like she was his
She was in
career.
Fast
She's in
and Furious.
Entourage. She's in Entourage.
She's
or,
on the
Fast and
cover of the
Furious, yeah.
swimsuit, Sports Illustrated.
Guess what's on the next subject line,
And-
Joel?
We're not done here yet. But it's just sort of like, how much money is she worth, right?
Yeah. She's made a lot of money.
She can walk away from this thing.
Yeah.
and
She's
just
gonna
be
do what-
done and do whatever she wants.
She's gonna do what Gina Carano did, which Gina Carano at the time was the big MMA. She was the female MMA star, and she lost one match, and she's like, all right, I'm done. I'm just gonna go star in movies, and she's in the new Deadpool movie. It's like she's
She'll be
making a
fun.
career out of
She's
it.
like Ronda Rousey is like she's attractive. She can the world is her oyster.
Yeah,
So it's just
yeah.
it's I don't want to hear it from her where it's like, oh, I lost a match. I understand it's hard and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
Holly
but
Holm was a 6-1 underdog to beat her. So the fact that she actually knocked her, I mean, that's amazing. And so yeah, that's that you know by all accounts she should not have lost that match.
I do.
She ran into a freight train. and-
I do understand where it's like when you're dealing with like MMA people, it's just sort of like I imagine losing an MMA fight is way more visceral.
Oh,
than
yeah.
losing. I mean, getting physically like destroyed.
Yeah.
is just sort of like got to be on a whole different level.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be worse than like Cam Newton losing the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
right?
because
It's gotta be.
like, no, I mean, think about it. If you've ever like, if you're ever a kid, and I know I was bullied when I was a kid. When you get your ass kicked, like that's the lowest of the low. It's like if you strike out or you don't hit that last second three,
and
like
just-
that's okay. But you like get physically punished.
And we were talking
bad.
about this also, where it's like you look at like a lot of these old fighters, where it's just like their heads are just getting pounded on, and it just
Oh,
sort
yeah,
of like
yeah.
there's gonna be a cost for that later in life. You made your money, just stop.
yeah, just cash out.
just
I mean,
stop.
that's what you got to do.
It's just not worth it.
What you should do is be a model and go do
She's
SI swimsuit
beautiful.
edition, which is what Ronda Rousey did.
There
She
you
did.
go.
She did with the body paint. Now, I think this is a cool
She
deal.
did it with the body paint. So in other
because
words,
So I don't understand this. So it's a swimsuit
you want me to give
issue,
you
but
the
no one
link?
wears
I'm doing the
swimsuits
math.
anymore.
There we
I'm
go.
doing the math. So
See,
what
she's
you're
not
telling
even
me,
wearing a swimsuit on the left.
what you're telling me is
got
that's not
bottoms.
clothes. Is that what you're telling
The
me?
one on the far right is not closed. The one in the middle is closed. The one on the other side is no clothes.
Gosh, so that's nakedness. Wow.
Thank you,
it's-
thank you,
there's
Can you throw
Professor.
that back up there? Because I want people to see
Artist.
this.
That's artistry right there.
I'm cool with this. I really like that SI went this way
love it
because
too.
they made the focal point like they were going to do a plus size, which in my opinion is just normal size woman. I don't even get where you have the plus size
Well,
shirt.
So that's
it's-
Ashley
it's-
Graham in the middle.
And I think, I mean, for me personally, that's what a real woman looks like, and I'm super fucking proud of Sports Illustrated for
Yeah,
doing
I think it was
that.
I think it was a good choice. I think it was a good choice.
And not to demean the woman on the left, but no, I mean, I don't think that's like that's not real.
No,
that's
it's.
not
I
realistic.
mean, it's. I mean, guys like different things.
Yeah.
Let's acknowledge that.
Exactly.
Like it's funny being on like Hollywood sets sometimes for real, and you see some of these actresses like on film, and then when you see them in real life, it's just like some of these girls are just like they are just tiny.
I've
mean,
seen
they're
I've
so
seen
tiny.
some before. It's like you feel bad, like you need to go give them a sandwich or something. Like they're so fucking hungry.
feed 'em
like,
some M&Ms.
Or do you need to eat something? Can you be
I
human?
like the acknowledgement of like different things for different people, right?
I thought it was really cool. I was super proud of that, and I'm super gonna watch or go look at all those at length by myself, alone, for a while.
He's talking about masturbating.
What was it? All right,
Now-
let's talk about this before we get to the end of the show. What was the first magazine that you
that subtext.
Jack, I want to ask you this question. Joel, I want to ask you this as
Masturbating.
well. What magazine was the first one you ever jacked it to?
There was a comic book about X-wing fighters, and I fucking love those X-wing fighters. Oh my fucking god!
Are you serious?
Poetry
Yeah?
in motion. Should have been an engineer.
What about you, Jack?
God, I don't know. That was like 400 years ago.
Did you ever do like the Sears magazine? where they had
Probably.
the bras.
I
like,
can't believe you
that's how
guys
the
are
parade
that
would
old.
go.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I did Sears and I did Victoria's Secret. Obviously, that was a gimme. That was a gimme.
For
as
me,
far
it
as
was
as
like
good as it's
Captain
gonna get.
Caveman's girlfriend because it was that I was that old.
Wow.
that
With all
old?
the the hair that goes down to the feet.
I was like, oh, look at her cave.
Wasn't she hairy all over?
There you go.
Oh yeah, you had to use your imagination back then, right? There was a lot of,
It was a
like-
different time.
It was a different
It was a
time.
different time and place.
Is that an ankle?
Why don't you text in? Everyone, tell us what was the first magazine that you got your rocks off to?
There
when
you
were a
go.
young
Let's
kid?
fill it. Yeah, let's
'Cause
let's go
that's
ahead
what
and
Sportsball
fill up the
basically
text line with
is.
that. Remember when you had to watch the scrambled cable channels?
Yeah.
Like the bar
I
going
think
down
I
the
see a
middle?
leg. I think I see a
Yeah,
leg.
like what was that? Like pause it. It's like that could be a forehead or a boob. It's one or the other.
All right, the worst
Either
I
way.
got is that I had buddies. It wasn't me, not
Sure.
me that did this, but it was like the 30-second infomercials for Girls Gone Wild. And so you had a countdown.
Huh.
You had 30 seconds
You
to
had
get
time.
Nick knows what.
What? No,
You're
no.
perverted.
You hear those
as shit.
reggae drums going? It's like,
I gotta go. Yeah.
What? Yeah, the countdown. So in
Yeah.
other words, you
Well,
were
it was like-
looking for release within 30 seconds.
It was like
'cause it's a
order
30-second
now.
Oh, it's a
commercial.
13 commercial. I gotcha.
So like once it's on, you got to get ready to go.
And then, like, if you don't make that transition, all of a sudden it cuts to like a Jack in the Box
Yeah.
commercial. You're like, oh no!
I was almost there.
So
Somebody-
was it
yeah.
like Pavlov's dog where you heard the song and immediately you just got hard? You're like, all right, I gotta go.
When I was 12, we actually found a backpack full of Playboys.
Oh,
in, like the neighborhood
was it in the
next to our
forest?
house.
Was it in the woods?
Close to it,
All
like
right.
right outside.
There's been a whole
They were ours
discussion
after
on the
that.
podcast
In the swamp?
about like outdoor porn, like finding magazines outside.
I found a bag
Forest
of it.
porn.
yeah, forest porn.
porn.
Yeah,
Forest
yeah.
porn.
They grow in the woods. Do you know that?
They do.
Yeah, somebody
on
just
trees.
texted in. They said they jacked it to Popular Science.
Weird science. I understand that. I get that.
Popular Science.
Popular science. Meh.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
This says 1998 Maxim with Jennifer Love Hewitt. I can understand that. So, well, somebody texted in, Joel, this one's for you, says, what's a magazine?
Ah, very clever. A magazine is the thing that holds bullets. Someone is asking about F1. Like F1 starts next week. Who is going to win next year? You know,
The guy who always wins.
well, I don't know
Lewis
about that.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
There's Lewis Hamilton, and then there's Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, who went
have
to
been
Ferrari.
the top two for the past, what, 4
And,
years?
Yeah, and Hamilton was Mercedes Benz. The thing about F1 is that it's like no other sport because it's like which team has the best car this year.
Yeah.
And a lot of times teams will acknowledge this is not going to be our year. We're just going to engineer for next year, and so it like sort of flip flops or whatever. But it's just sort of like yeah. I mean Hamilton, Vettel, and then was there someone else? It was. I can't remember.
Yeah, this
I
comes
think
in
it's
from
kinda-
Cedar Rapids,
and
Iowa,
yeah,
saying Nintendo Power Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Oh, this comes in from Austin from someone at Katie Ward _ I super needed to know that.
Jackson, have a good night.
Well, ask her. What was her first?
No, sir. We have a few.
Not going there.
This one comes in from Vicksburg, Mississippi. It says National Geographic.
Texas
Vicksburg.
Rivers Monthly.
This one says Bodybuilders Monthly.
Golf
I'm
Digest.
really
from
surprised
Anthony.
because it's like a lot of these answers are really like old school answers. It's just wow. All right, the world has not changed that much, I guess.
All right, what's up next?
What's up next? I mean, that was pretty much it. That was the end
Oh,
of the show
Jesus.
right there, man.
That's all.
I had a
we
whole
got.
extra page. I didn't bother reading this one.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess we can kind of wrap it up if we want to. So like we said before at the beginning of the show, this is going to be the season finale for Sportsball.
No.
So, I mean, I think it's been a lot of fun this year. We've had a good time talking about sports. We thank you, all of you
We
fans, for
thank
being a
all
part of this.
300 viewers.
Someone
All
pointed out
300,
that
yeah.
we saw Miles's balls and we saw Cole in a
Almost my balls.
Almost your balls. We saw
Almost
you in a
your balls.
thong.
Saw you in a thong.
Those are some fun. Those are some fun times.
We went to Waco, went to LA to had Joel. He
yeah.
went to go talk to Roy Hibbert.
That was a
which
good time.
It was fun for Joel.
Best hockey player.
He was the best hockey player of all time.
Fantastic
No,
hockey
we had a lot of fun, and so
and we managed to get through the whole series without talking about hockey
that
the
was
whole
the
time.
goal.
That was really impressive.
That was the goal the
Funny,
entire time.
we talked about more hockey during the Super Bowl episode than any other episode.
other one?
The one we probably didn't need to talk about hockey. We talked about hockey more than anything.
But
Yeah.
we do know that the Dallas Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup this year.
Clearly,
Yes,
clearly.
they're one of the better
Mark
teams.
it.
So yeah, this was. I want to thank everybody who was a part of this production. You know, from Patrick and Broadcast who brought me over to do this
Yay.
show, to Marcus, to all the amazing sets that he always
Marcus,
builds.
yay.
I mean, there's so many people involved with this, and the most important people were you guys, the fans, that decided to make this a thing. And
Yay.
Absolutely.
to do this as long
Thank
as you
you.
have, to everything that you've sent us, from the memorabilia, all the jerseys, all the letters, all the suggestions and critiques for the show. Really appreciate that. You know, for those of you guys that love us, we're gonna miss you. You know, for those of you that hated us, hey, you get your wish today then. So it's gonna be a mix of both. But you know, one of the funny things about this, even though this is gonna be the end of sports ball, is that, you know, they told me like I could kind of end this whenever I wanted to.
No, yeah,
Like I
yeah.
didn't really have to like end it today.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I
Take your time with it.
Could do it whenever I wanted to, type thing. So it's like technically we could go on for a few more episodes.
Do you want to do like
should
what would
we
be
do
fun?
something?
You know what would be fun is
Huh.
like, since this is like sports ball, why don't we do like a little like a bet thing?
Oh, like a
Okay.
challenge
We can
type
do
thing.
Like
challenge.
something involving, because we don't do this a lot.
No.
Actual physicality.
we do not.
you
No.
have to move. Like you physically have to move up out of your storeroom and do something.
Okay.
Right. Okay, I can do that. All right, how about this? Slam dunk contest?
Hey,
this
slam
weekend?
dunk-
How about I
okay.
do something with the basketball, right? How about this? How about
we can do this.
I'll shoot a basketball.
Okay.
We'll get a hoop out here. If I make
get a hoop?
it,
Can we
if
get
I
it?
make it, I will. We'll keep doing sports ball. Yeah.
All right, yeah, there we go. There we go.
Just like the kicking.
So if I
yeah.
don't make it,
that'll be it.
that'll be it.
If you don't make it, that's it.
All right,
That's it?
game over. That's it. If you don't make it.
We made the field goals. How hard can this be?
we can do
All
this.
right, here we go.
This is sports.
It's easy. Make sure you get in. Okay, there you go. Perfect.
No
That's
problem.
an easy shot. You can.
It's an easy shot, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem.
All right, guys. Count me down.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Sportsball. We are so happy to be here. As you can check out our really cool logo, our amazing sets.
Get it a logo that's a little more phallic next time.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's quite enough.
No, I
like next
feel,
time.
I don't
We need to
know.
throw some
What do
hockey
you
sticks
guys
in there,
think?
and you
I
know.
think it looks pretty good.